this is a fight that is very intriguing for a couple different reasons, but perhaps most of all, a return after a lengthy absence from Kemahl Russell.
Yes, Kemahl's been off for 5 years, coming back at 34 years old. Very tough thing to do at this stage of his career. Something.
Well, we're ready to go. Let's keep this party rolling. Carlos Verde really ready to get this going.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our second attraction of the evening, sanctioned for 8 rounds in the super middleweight division between two men who can pack a punch. Please welcome to the arena first, all the way from Argentina, it is Marcos El Indio Cornejo.
Todavía yo no he visto a nadie que tenga la cosa que tengo yo, tú me entiendes, una cosa vaya que yo nací con eso.
Pero ¿qué es lo que tú tienes? Vamos a ver.
Es una cosa que te lo digo que no lo puedo ni explicar, ¿sabes? Porque una cosa entre acá, que cuando estoy
Marcos Cornejo making his way to the ring, fighting out of Buenos Aires, Argentina. And this is a fight that has the potential with 2 knockout punchers to be a good one.
Absolutely, and starting with Cornejo, making his way to the ring. A big puncher. He's a road warrior. He's not going to be affected by the hometown crowd. He's well-traveled. He's fought Europe, Australia, Trinidad, now Canada. His stoppage losses he suffered in 2018 were, and no shame, losing to Christian Mbili, who's a regional belt holder in Canada on his way to a world title, and Tim Tszyu, who's also on his way to world title contention on 154. He's coming off a 2-year layoff and a 5-fight losing streak, though, so this is a real pivotal moment for him at this point of his career. It's now or never. I also found he's got a big right hand, and I found, he's got a record 19 wins and 6 losses, but I wonder if there's a 20th win that went undocumented in Argentina, because the one fight I found of him, and it's definitely him, is not on BoxRec.
Oh, there you go. That's the type of research that makes you the best. Getting us ready for this fight, and we talked about the youngsters or the prospects.
The arena, fighting out of the red corner, coming all the way from Kingston, Jamaica, here is Kemahl the Hitman Russell.
Now Kemahl Russell making his way to the ring, and we saw 2 prospects, 2 youngsters, up-and-comers in the first fight, 18 and 23 years old. There's a lot of veteran experience in this matchup. Cornejo, 41 years of age. Kemahl Russell, 34, but the talking point with Russell is the 5-year layoff that he's breaking here tonight.
5-year layoff, coming back at 34, that's no easy feat. Let's see what he can do. It's one thing when you're sparring in the gym and hitting the bag, and another when you're doing it under the bright lights and putting your body through a whole training camp again after 5 years away from the ring. It's a big defining moment for him tonight. But up until the layoff, he was on a good run. He's a former Jamaica Contender Series champion back in 2015. He was also a former NABF junior middleweight champ, on his way to a world title shot until he suffered his only loss against eventual 3-time world title challenger Sergey Derevchenko. So definitely no shame in that one loss. He's trying to come back and regain some momentum again. It's a big middleweight, 6 foot, 73-inch reach, with 11 knockouts out of his 13 wins. I think this has the recipe for a very, very exciting fight with some fireworks here tonight in our second bout of the evening.
Yeah, we could see some big blows landed here with some knockout potential, and the nervous energy we'll have to keep an eye on in the first round for Kemahl Russell. It's been a 5-year build-up. This return is something that he's been striving for so long. How do you balance that excitement and those nerves? We'll throw it to Carlos Verde.
Second attraction of the evening, sanctioned for 8 rounds in the super middleweight division, and it's all being brought to you by Tyler Buxton's United Boxing Promotions, live from the sold-out Pickering Casino Resort. Your judges for this 8-round super middleweight contest at ringside, Mr. Jasper Kujavsky, Mr. Jeremy Hayes, and Mr. Martin DeLita. Your referee, the third man inside the squared circle when the punches fly, the former Canadian and Commonwealth champion, Mr. Donovan Boucher. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the white and blue of his native Argentina. He scaled 164.5 pounds. His record as a professional, a powerful one. 19 victories against 6 defeats, with 18 of those 19 wins coming by big way of knockout. The former WBC middleweight youth title challenger, de Morón, Buenos Aires, Argentina, he is Marcos El Indio Cornejo. And now his opponent across the ring in the red corner. He wears the black with the green and gold of his native Jamaica. He scaled 164.2 pounds. His record, a punishing, powerful one. 13 victories, 1 defeat, 11 big wins coming by way of knockout. The former NABF junior middleweight champion from Kingston, Jamaica, he is Kemahl, the Hitman Russell. And now with your final instructions, the former Canadian and Commonwealth champion, referee Donovan Boucher.
Yes, gentlemen, I gave you the pre-fight instructions in the changing room. Listen to my command at all times. Most importantly, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, and good luck to both of you.
Kemahl Russell, in just a few short seconds, will end a 5-year absence from the ring. 13-1 with 11 KOs. The potential for fireworks is there in this bout.
Man, it's always tense in the first round with 2 big punchers because both of them know. They both know one mistake can change everything. We may not see a whole lot in the first round other than a lot of intense posturing.
Well, an 8-round fight as well, so some time to work with.
Got some time.
For Russell, perhaps just getting back into the groove in this first round as well, and getting the feel for the ring, getting the feel for the range, the opponent as well. Although Cornejo probably has other ideas in mind,
Snuck one around the guard
indicated
there,
by that right hand.
Well, another thing with the Hitman, Kemahl, is, you know, as you age, and this is something I experienced through my career, was my skills didn't fade, but my ability to recover and handle the wear and tear of training did. You know, injuries was something I was plagued with towards the end of my career, and it slowed me down. And so that's something that happened. That Kemahl obviously suffered that in 2019. He's trying to come back and defy the odds.
Talk about the commitment as well, though, that Kemahl to overcome such a tough situation, a tough injury, and put in all that work. I mean, I'm sure there are days where you just want to say enough is enough, but Kemahl Russell, not that type of person, not that type of fighter.
Well, he's working through those demons right now.
Exactly.
But I will say that Cornejo is not making it easy for him. He's here to fight tonight, and he hasn't taken one inch backwards so far. Nobody's landed anything clean just yet.
Russell pawing with that left before coming through with the right.
I'd like to see him throw, you know, that pawing job. I'd like to see it be more of a forceful, snappy job. Put a little bit more weight behind it, so it won't be so easy to time, because it does come back low, and it's a good opportunity for a guy like Cornejo, who can also punch. Catch him coming back like that.
Tracking blow on the right, and the pawing jab slow going out, probably slow coming back in. Right opens the door, opens the window for your opponent.
Exactly. So put a little more snap on that jab. You know what? That's a good weapon for Cornejo right there. That's twice now he lands a cuffing right hook around the guard.
Russell trying to respond with much of the same.
If I'm Russell, I want to keep that left hand up, shove up when he's standing in front of Cornejo, because Cornejo is looking for that overhand hook around the guard, and he's touched it a couple times.
Final 10 seconds, opening round of 8 in this super middleweight bout. Kemahl Russell, Marcos Cornejo. Fairly even round after 1 between these two fighters.
Very, very competitive, even round. You know, the unpopular vote, my scorecard is going to lean slightly towards Cornejo in that round. I do think he landed a little bit more. I liked he found a good weapon with that right hook around the guard. When there's not much else there to separate the two, that's what I'm going with for Cornejo in that early first round.
Very close, very tough round to score. Cornejo perhaps recognizing the shelling up the guard of Russell and finding a way to get around it, like you said, putting that right hand around the guard. If there's no room up the middle, look for a home for it around the guard.
Exactly. More than one way to skin a cat.
Exactly, yes, correct. Very active corner there by Kemahl Russell.
I do think Kemahl has a little more options with his skill set. He can do a little bit more. So I'd like to see him not be so stationary, but a little bit more lateral movement. The balls of feet. Just give him, you don't have to be Sugar Ray Leonard in there, but just give him a little bit more side to side. Force Cornejo to have to turn a little bit. Don't just stand right in front and make it easy for him to get shots off.
A wry smile from Russell at the start of round number 2. You know he's feeling good being back in that ring.
Yes. There we go. A little more side steps, a little more side to side. Give him some different looks, different pictures.
Bouncing the step as opposed to flat-footed.
Stuck an uppercut in there. And a right hand, 1, 2, 3.
A little wobbly here, Cornejo. And Russell smells blood. Coming in, big right hand as well. Cornejo staggered.
And he's smiling, he's feeling it.
This is what he's missed for the past 5 years.
Oh, nice uppercut.
Splits the guard up the middle.
If I'm Kemahl, though, I still want to have a little bit of caution because Cornejo can still punch. And sometimes punches like Cornejo, when they're hurt, that's when they're dangerous.
You see the confidence doesn't take long to come back into the flow of Russell, but Cornejo maybe has caught his bearings here. Certainly on wobbly legs for a bit.
If I'm Kemahl, I don't want to get too cocky. You know, he's catcalling now. He's cooing to the crowd and got his hands down, but this fight is still very early.
Round 2 of 8, but Russell has found a home for that uppercut, splitting the guard.
Yeah, it's Cornejo. To Cornejo's credit, you know, he's losing this round, but he is showing poise under pressure. He's responding well to the adversity, and he's not defenseless. He's still in this fight. If I'm Kemahl, go back to what took you there. Get back behind that jab, double up, more lateral movement. That'll set up the big shots.
Russell like a predator
nice
coming in.
He's not listening to me, but he's getting the work done anyway.
Well, he most definitely is, and he's getting some quality shots off, and now with a few words
nice
as well
shot.
as that rip to the body. You can just feel it.
Well, you know, that's what you do when you get a guy on the ropes, because when the guy gets on the ropes instinctively, he's going to put his hands up.
Right.
Get to that body. You can bring that guard down, then the head opens up. Russell's in a good groove now. He's found his, you know what, the rust is shaking off. He's in a good little rhythm.
Well, it's a great round to get the confidence back, because I'm sure as confident as all these fighters are in themselves with a 5-year layoff, you just have maybe that little inkling of what might happen when you get back in there. This has been a fantastic round for Russell.
You know, when I see a fighter go down,
knockdown?
No knockdown, just a push. But when I see a fighter lose his balance like that, I never think it's a good sign. I always think it's a sign of fatigue. His strength is waning, and it's pretty early in the fight to be losing your balance like that.
There's some blood coming out of the mouth of Cornejo as well as they give a nod to each other on their way back to the corner. And Russell, if the first round was about knocking the rust off, the second round was about knocking his opponent off kilter as he got through with some cracking blows, specifically uppercuts up the middle, seemed to find a home.
But now though, Cornejo got out of it.
Right.
Cornejo got out of it, he survived. Now we're going to a new round, 60 seconds to recuperate. We still got 6 more rounds to go. There could be an adrenaline dump now. Sometimes you get a guy hurt, you can't put him away, and now we're back on the, gotta start all over again. That can sap a guy's strength sometimes too. And then Cornejo could regain momentum and come back. This is still very much fight's not in the bag just yet.
Exactly, and managing that gas tank is important as well. An 8-round fight, only 2 in the books. Cornejo comes out with a looping right hand.
Yep. That's his weapon tonight. That seems to be his weapon of choice, where he seems to feel like he can find some success. I like what Hitman's doing now, though. He's changing levels, dipping his body up and down, working up and down.
Not one and done either. Cornejo,
Exactly.
good job of getting off the ropes there as Russell is throwing punches in 3s and 4s.
Well, Russell seems to, you know, he seems to have adapted to the resistance of Cornejo. Even if that looping right hand does touch him now, he seems to have warmed up to it and not shy away from it, and hasn't stopped him from stepping up his attacks coming in.
Soft warning from the official there, perhaps something just on the belt line or just below.
Yeah.
Russell now following up. A few punches, deep breath, and deep exhale from Cornejo, but
Well, the pace
strikes back.
The pace has slowed down a little bit, but now Russell's starting to sit on his punches a little more, though, and he's attacking those flanks downstairs now, taking the wind out of the sails of Cornejo, and we're seeing it because Cornejo's output has dropped this round. And he's spending more time on the ropes. He's retreating for the first time all night so far in this fight. You know, we're starting to see, I think Russell's former pedigree is starting to really shine now in this round.
Like riding a bike, I'm sure. It's
Like
all
riding a
coming
bike,
back.
man.
It's
Yeah.
all coming back. Russell doing a good job mixing up head and body as well. We talked about it in round number 2. The natural inclination is to guard up and protect the head. Well, that's when against the ropes you rip the body. Home there for that punch.
Yeah,
Did Russell.
And I'm not liking Cornejo's body language right now. He just took a big gasp of air, and he's not responding. He's not shaking off these punches. He's hurt right now.
Yeah, and Russell recognizes, avoids any clinch opportunity as well, wants that separation and perhaps an opportunity to put it on Cornejo down the final 30 seconds of this round.
Well, the thing with when you have a fight like this with two big punchers, it's not always about just who hits harder, but who takes it better. And right now we're seeing that one guy can take it a little better than the other.
Yeah, the exhales are certainly deep from Cornejo. Some cheeks puffed out, some big breaths.
I really like the way he sets up that left hook to the body, picks his head up, picks his opponent's head up on the nose with that uppercut through the guard, and then he brings that left hook around the elbow. It's a good combination for him, and it's making a difference in this fight.
Strong round there from Kemahl. Russell. Cornejo needs this 60 seconds to regain his composure, regain his breath. As we get a look into the corner of Hitman, Russell follows up an excellent second round with a strong third round as well.
And he's got a strong cornerman too, Ryan Grant, the famous Grant Brothers fighting family in Canada, runs his gym in Toronto. He's a good trainer, he's been around. His older brothers were world champions and Olympians, you know, in Howard and Otis Grant, and he comes from good stock. He's an asset in anyone's corner. So Russell's in good hands.
Love that moment in the third round where Russell didn't accept the clinch. You know, that Cornejo wanted a bit of a breather, wanted a bit of a break, and was looking to get in and tie things up. Russell said, not right now, backs up, gives space, and gives an opportunity to get him back against the ropes and get some more punches off down the final 30 seconds of that round.
Oh, and that's a sign of his experience, his experience shining through, knowing how to fend off a guy who is trying to clinch and slow down the pace. There's a pattern here with Cornejo.
Coming out strong, always throwing that first punch,
Yeah.
and a looping one at that.
It's a deadly bull rushes him there, but yeah, there's 2 rounds in a row now where he comes out guns blazing like that, winging that right hook.
Well,
And
maybe can Russell make an adjustment here, recognizing perhaps the gas tank problems that we saw towards the end of round number 3, and perhaps let him come out strong?
Well, what we saw in the last round, and we may see again in this round, is Russell weathers that early onslaught, doesn't take too many clean shots. You know, he makes the guy miss, and then he starts going to work, and Cornejo slows down. And that's discouraging for a guy like Cornejo who believes in his power, and he can't find a target to unleash his power. Because, you know, when you're hitting air, you waste a lot more energy when you're throwing and hitting air than you are when you make contact. Even if the guy blocks it on the arms or the gloves, it's still fatiguing, depleting the guy's strength. It's his body. When you're hitting air, it takes the wind out of your sails and slows you down.
Demoralizing as well.
Exactly. It's mental as much as physical.
Any energy wasted cannot be gotten back.
we got the doctor ringside right now. Doctor's ringside calling for the ref.
We stop in this fight. Corner stoppage.
We have a stoppage. Cornerman stoppage.
Cornerman says that's enough. So Kemahl Russell, maybe not the way that he expected it to happen, but gets the W.
It's a little bizarre. I mean, we did see Russell was gradually wearing him down, taking control of the fight break.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is over. The time of the stoppage, 1:29 of round 4. In favor of your winner via TKO, Kemahl, the Hitman Russell.
Kemahl Hitman Russell, victorious, 4th round stoppage, TKO in the books.
And more importantly, I think he conquered a lot of demons tonight.
Yes. What's going through his mind right now? 5 years away from the boxing ring, steps back in. This has to feel good.
Oh, huge sense of accomplishment. And only looking up from here, I think he got a huge weight lifted off his shoulders, and now we keep moving forward.
Look at some of the action, and you just saw a smile come onto the face of Kemahl Russell as well. The first round, getting back into the ring, getting back into the groove. When round number 2 started, I noticed a smirk on the face of Kemahl Russell, a smile, almost just so happy to be back in there. He's home. That's a great way to put it. And he made himself at home in rounds 2, 3, and ultimately round 4.